Welcome to Terran Tales, where stories of love, loss, betrayal, and redemption come to life. Every tale carries a twist, and every twist leaves a lesson. Sit back and dive into the stories that hit where it hurts and heal where it matters. I still remember the exact sound of the fork on the plate. It made a sharp tap when Jenna put it down. We were halfway through dinner, spaghetti, salad, and a little garlic bread that I had almost burned. The TV was on mute. The house was quiet. Our dog snored at our feet. Everything felt normal. Then she looked at me with a smile I couldn't read. "I've been thinking," she said. Those 3 words changed everything. "About what?" I asked. I tried to keep my voice calm. We had been together for 8 years, married for 5. Things weren't perfect, but we were not falling apart. At least, that's what I thought. "About us," she said. "I love you, Mark. You know that. But we're stuck. We do the same things every week. You go to work. I go to work. We watch a show. We sleep. I feel like I'm losing a part of myself. I want excitement again. I want honesty about what we need." I felt my chest tighten. I had no idea where this was going. I nodded, trying to be open. "Okay, what do you have in mind?" She took a breath. "I want to try an open marriage." The garlic bread turned to dust in my mouth. I drank some water, slow. "An open marriage?" "Just to explore," she said quickly. "Not because I don't love you. This is about honesty and freedom. No secrets. Some people do it and get closer. We can set rules, clear boundaries. We can always pause if it doesn't work." I stared at her. Her eyes were bright, hopeful, but there was something else there too, like a light that had already been switched on before I entered the room, a plan that had started long before this dinner. "Where did this come from?" I asked. "I've been reading," she said, "listening to podcasts, talking to my therapist." She touched my hand. "If we don't try, I'll always wonder. I don't want to wonder anymore. I want to be honest. I want us to choose this together." The word "together" felt heavy. I heard the dishwasher hum. The dog snored louder, then quieted. "I don't know," I said. I was honest. "It's a big change. I don't want to lose you." "You won't," she said, squeezing my hand. "We'll make rules. No friends, no family. Full transparency, always. We share plans. We use protection. We check in every week. If it hurts, we stop. I promise. No friends, no family." The rule came too fast, like she'd practiced it. It was oddly specific. It made something in my gut twist. I tried to understand her side. I tried to picture us as a team making adult choices. I told myself many couples do this. I told myself trust can bend without breaking. But then my mind flashed to something from earlier that day. A text I had seen pop up on her phone in the morning while she was in the shower. It was from her best friend, Kayla. "You sure about tonight?" My heart had done a little skip then. I didn't think much of it. Now, the words sounded different in my head. Tonight. Sure about tonight. What was going to happen? "Have you wanted this for a while?" I asked. "Before tonight?" She looked at her plate. "I've thought about it. I didn't want to scare you. I wanted to bring it up the right way." "The right way," I repeated. She chose her words carefully. Then she straightened her back and smiled. She was brave about this, confident. I felt small next to it. "Can we at least talk through the rules?" she asked. "We don't have to do anything right away. Let's be smart. If it doesn't feel right, we stop. I would never choose something that hurts you." There was love in her voice. I knew she loved me. That made it even harder. I didn't want to be the jealous, controlling husband who never tries new things. I didn't want to be the reason she felt trapped. "Okay," I said very slowly. "We can talk about it. Rules, boundaries, no friends or family, full honesty. We go slow." Her smile bloomed like a flower. "Thank you." We cleared the dishes together. She hummed a little tune. I watched her hands move. Her wedding ring caught the light. I tried to read the ring like a sign. Solid, unbroken, a promise. My mind kept circling back to that text from Kayla. "You sure about tonight?" Maybe it was innocent. Maybe Kayla had planned a girls' night and Jenna felt guilty about leaving me at home. Maybe. After dinner, I went to grab the printed recipe I'd used for the garlic bread from the home office. Our old printer sat on a small table. On the floor beside it was a crushed piece of paper. I picked it up and smoothed it out. My stomach flipped. It was a template called Open Relationship Agreement, with empty lines for names and dates. It was dated 2 months ago in the corner. I stood still and heard my heartbeat in my ears. 2 months ago. I put the paper back exactly as I found it. I did not confront her. Not yet. I breathed in and out. If I shouted now, I would get words and tears and more plans. I needed something else. I needed to understand the full shape of this. We sat on the couch and watched a comedy, laughing at all the right parts. She leaned her head on my shoulder. It felt good. It felt normal. I wanted to sink into it and pretend the printer paper didn't exist. But I knew better. Around 10, her phone buzzed. She glanced at it and then flipped it face down. "Work," she said. "We're fixing the Q3 deck." "On a Friday night?" She rolled her eyes. "You know my team. Insane deadlines." I nodded and gave her a small smile. "Do what you need to." She went to the kitchen to get more water. Her phone buzzed again. I didn't touch it. I just looked at the screen. A preview flashed for a second before it dimmed. It was from a contact named E. It said, "Tomorrow works. Can't wait." My chest got tight again. E. Who was E? Evan? Eric? Elise? Maybe it was a woman. Maybe it was a harmless plan. Maybe it was a work event. My thoughts ran in circles. When she came back, I said nothing. We finished the show. We went to bed. Her breathing fell into a steady rhythm. I lay awake staring at the ceiling. The shadows on the wall looked like bars. Around midnight, I got up for water. On my way back, I passed the home office. I don't know why I went in. Maybe I wanted to feel the floor under my feet. Maybe I wanted proof that the world was solid and I wasn't dreaming. I turned on the small lamp. The printer light glowed green. I noticed the corner of a manila folder peeking out from under the printer tray. It was labeled, "Taxes," in her handwriting. I pulled it out. Inside were our tax forms, normal. And tucked between 2 pages, almost like a bookmark, was a receipt. Hillcrest Lodge, 2 guests, 1 night, a year and a half ago. Check in at 8:42 p.m. Check out at 9:12 a.m. The card used was our joint card. The signature was Jenna's. I put the receipt back exactly where I found it. My hands shook. The room was very quiet. I turned off the lamp and stood in the dark for a long time. In bed, I listened to her breathe. I thought about the word honesty. I thought about bridges you cross and bridges you burn. I thought about Kayla's text. "You sure about tonight?" And the message from E. "Tomorrow works. Can't wait." I didn't explode. I didn't confront. Instead, I made a choice. I would be calm. I would listen. I would take notes. If we were going to write rules, then I was going to follow them to the letter. And I would see if she did too. In the morning, I made coffee. I made her favorite toast with honey and peanut butter. She kissed my cheek and said, "You're the best." I smiled. I was an actor now, playing a part I never wanted. As she left for yoga, her phone lit up again on the entry table. The name was E with a little star next to it. I watched it blink until it went dark. She picked up the phone and slipped it into her bag without looking at me. "Love you," she said. "Love you," I said. The door closed behind her with a soft click. I stood in the quiet house and felt something settle inside me. Not rage, not fear. A kind of clear, cold focus. If this was a door we were opening, I needed to know what was on the other side. I needed to know if I was walking into a room or a trap. That afternoon, Kayla texted me, "Hey, movie night soon? Miss you guys." I stared at the screen. My thumb hovered. I typed, "Sure," and then I deleted it. I typed again, "Sounds good." Kayla replied with a heart. Then, after a pause, another message came. "You okay?" I looked at those 2 words for a long time. Then I typed the safest truth I had. "I will be." That evening, while washing dishes, I heard a soft buzz from the drawer where we keep spare chargers. I opened it to find a slim black phone I had never seen before. No case, no stickers, just a clean screen lighting up with one name, E. The message preview said, "Same plan as last time?" The black phone in the drawer buzzed again. Same plan as last time? I stared at the screen for 2 seconds, then did the only thing I could do without blowing everything up. I pulled out my own phone and took a photo of the preview. I typed the unknown number into my notes. Then I put the slim phone back exactly where I found it, face down under the spare chargers, like a sleeping snake. When Jenna came home from yoga, she was glowing. She kissed my cheek and said, "Can we talk through the rules tonight? I want to do this the right way." "Yeah," I said. "Let's write it down." We made tea and sat at the dining table. I brought a notepad and a pen. She opened her laptop. "I even found a template," she said with a laugh. "You know me, type A." I smiled and nodded. Type A. The template looked very familiar. "Okay," I said, and took a breath. "If we do this, we need real guardrails." I started listing them, slowly, like building a fence around a cliff. 1. No friends, no family, ever. "Agreed," she said quickly, almost too quickly. 2. Full transparency. We tell each other the plan before it happens. Names, time, place. Same night check-in when we get home. She pressed her lips together. "Names might be too much," she said. "That feels personal." "What about just a friend?" I shook my head. "Vague equals loopholes. I don't want to guess." She looked down at her hands. "Okay, names," she said softly. 3. Protection always. 4. Monthly testing. We go together. "Yes," she said. "Absolutely." 5. 2 nights a week max. No overnights on weekdays. We protect our sleep and our work. 6. No repeats with the same person more than 3 times without a talk. She blinked. 3? Why 3? "Because that's when feelings can start," I said. We both let that sit there. 7. Shared calendar. You add your plans, I add mine. Real locations. No vague out. 8. Location sharing on during dates, so we know each other is safe. She frowned. "Location sharing feels like surveillance." "Safety," I said. "If something goes wrong, we can find each other." She hesitated, then nodded. "Okay, during dates only." 9, I said, and looked right at her. "No secret phones. No secret profiles. No fake names. No lies by omission." Her eyes flickered. It was tiny, half a second, a micro blink, but I saw it. Then she smiled. "Of course," she said. "No secrets." 10. A stop word. Either of us can end the open part at any time. 48 hours notice, no guilt. We go back to closed and work on us. "Okay," she said. "That's fair." 11. If a rule is broken, the open marriage stops. We don't argue about it. We deal with the break first. She looked at the window for a long moment. "What if it's a small thing?" she asked. "Like forgetting to put something on the calendar." "Then we talk about why it slipped," I said. "Small things are usually big things in costume." She drummed her fingers on the table. "I want one more," she said. "No retroactive digging. If we do this, we start fresh. We don't go hunting through the past to hurt each other." My chest went cold. Start fresh. That was tidy. That was convenient. "I don't want to hurt you," I said. "I also don't want to pretend the past doesn't exist. We can agree to be kind. We can't agree to be blind." She exhaled and nodded slowly. "Okay, kind, not blind." Before we could sign anything, the doorbell rang. Jenna perked up. "That's Kayla," she said. "I asked her to stop by for 10 minutes. Neutral eyes, you know? Neutral." My stomach flipped. I stood and opened the door. Kayla stepped in with a small smile and a grocery tote. She looked at me longer than usual, like she was checking my face for cracks. "Brought cookies," she said, "and my 2 cents if you want them." We sat again. Kayla listened as we read the list. She was quiet, thoughtful. When I said no secret phones, Kayla's eyes flicked to Jenna's bag by the chair, and then back to me. It was quick, but I saw something there. Worry, maybe guilt, maybe both. "I like the stop word," Kayla said. "I'd add one thing. If one person wants to end it, the other agrees. No negotiation. Also, no one from work. Work crushes blow-up lives." "Agreed," I said. Jenna nodded, a little tight. Agreed. Jenna's phone buzzed on the table. A name flashed. E, with a small star. She flipped it face down and forced a laugh. Spam calls, all day, she said. Kayla didn't laugh. Her jaw set. We printed the rules. At the bottom, there was a space for signatures and dates. I picked up the pen. As I signed, I saw the tiny print in the footer. Created 2 months ago. I didn't say a word. Jenna signed with a flourish. After Kayla left, I walked her to the door. She paused on the porch. You okay? She asked softly. I'm learning, I said. She nodded. If anything feels wrong, call me, she said. I mean it. That night, to honor the deal, I made a simple dating profile. I wrote the truth. Married. Trying ethical non-monogamy. Slow and respectful. Coffee first. Kayla texted me a few minutes later. Want me to take a decent photo so you don't look like a DMV line? I laughed in spite of myself. She came back in, stood me by the bookshelf, and snapped 3 pictures. She stepped close to adjust my collar. My heart did a strange, small thing. I stepped back. She did too. Looks good, she said, suddenly all business. Don't pick anyone who wants chaos. Not my type, I said. I told Jenna I planned a coffee date for Tuesday at 6. I added it to our shared calendar. Bean and Company, 6 to 7 p.m. She smiled a little too bright. Have fun, she said, and added her own plan. Pilates, 7 to 9 p.m., across town. She turned off location sharing and said, battery saver, I'll text when I'm done. My phone buzzed. A match. A nice message from someone who liked hiking. Simple. Normal. For the first time in days, I felt a little steady. Then Kayla texted, if she turns off location tonight, call me. Please, I need to show you something. I stared at the words. My house felt quiet but not peaceful, more like the air before a storm. At 6:58 p.m., as I reached for my keys for a short drive to the coffee shop, I heard that soft, secret buzz from the drawer. I opened it with careful hands. The black phone lit the dark like a tiny lantern. E, room 212, same plan. Key under the mat if you're early. I looked at the calendar on my screen. Pilates, 7 to 9 p.m. I closed the drawer, pocketed my notes, and stepped into the hallway. The rules were written. The game had begun. At 6:58 p.m., I stood by the front door with my keys. The house was quiet. In the junk drawer, the black phone had lit up like a small lighthouse. Room 212, same plan. Key under the mat if you're early. Pilates, 7 to 9 p.m. Jenna had written on our shared calendar. I opened my dating app and stared at the coffee date message. She seemed kind, normal. I typed, hey, I'm sorry, can we reschedule? Family thing came up. She replied right away. No worries, hope everything's okay. The relief I felt told me I wasn't ready to pretend normal. I texted Kayla. She turned off location. Also, there's a second phone. A message about room 212. Kayla called within seconds. Where? I don't know yet, I said, but I found an old receipt months ago, Hillcrest Lodge. Room number wasn't listed, but the timing fits. Silence. Then Kayla said, I know where Hillcrest is. Meet me in the parking lot behind the bakery. 10 minutes, please. I drove with both hands gripping the wheel. The sky was a deep blue you only get in early evening, when the day has not decided if it's over. Kayla was already there, hoodie up, hair tucked back. She slid into my passenger seat without a word and handed me a folded paper. What's this? I asked. Proof I should have given you sooner, she said. I covered for her before. I'm done. I unfolded the paper. It wasn't one thing. It was 3. A rideshare receipt to Hillcrest Lodge from a year and a half ago. Drop-off 8:39 p.m. Pickup 9:10 a.m. The ride was booked from Kayla's phone. Passenger, Jenna. A screenshot of a text from Jenna to Kayla 2 months ago. Can you say we're at Pilates together tonight? Promise I'll owe you. Kayla's reply. This is getting out of hand. Jenna. One last time. A selfie of Kayla and Jenna at a girls' night, both smiling for the camera. In the window behind them, the reflection of a man's hand around Jenna's waist, a ring on his finger. Not mine. I swallowed. Why didn't you tell me then? Because she's my friend, Kayla said, eyes shining. And because I told myself it wasn't my place. But when she pitched you honesty and handed you rules like a gift, that broke something in me. I won't keep lying for her. We drove to Hillcrest Lodge without talking. It was one of those places with outdoor hallways and metal railings, the kind you book when you don't want to be seen. Room numbers in chipped paint, a soda machine humming in the corner. We parked at the far end behind a truck. At 7:21 p.m., Jenna's car turned in. My heart thudded. She parked near the stairs and sat for a moment, as if listening to a song's last chorus. Then she stepped out in leggings and a zip-up, hair in a casual bun. Pilates clothes. She walked up the stairs with a quick, sure step and stopped at 212. The door opened before she knocked. A man's silhouette, tall, broad shoulders. He wore a cap. They moved fast, familiar, and then the door closed. I took 2 photos, one wide, one close enough to see the number 212 above the door. I didn't zoom in on their faces. I didn't need to. My chest felt hollow and heavy at the same time. My phone buzzed. A text from Jenna. How's coffee? I'll be home after class. Love you. I typed. Good. Enjoy class. Love you too. Kayla stared straight ahead. I'm sorry, she said quietly. This is what the rules were for, I said, and she broke them on day 1. We waited 5 minutes, 10. I didn't know what I wanted, to rush up there, to knock, to walk away. My hands had that numb feeling like when you've been in the cold too long. Kayla touched my sleeve. We should go, she said. Don't let her see us. Don't tip your hand. We drove back in silence. On the way, Kayla said, I should tell you something else. She took a breath. I think E is Evan. From her office, I saw his name flash on her screen once, star next to it. She said it was expense reports. But his wife is in my Pilates class. She gave a short, humorless laugh. Small world. Does his wife know? I asked. Kayla shook her head. I don't think so. She wears her ring like it's part of her skin. At home, I wrote a clean entry in my notebook. Day 1 of rules. 7:21 p.m. Jenna arrives at Hillcrest Lodge, room 212. Location sharing off. Text to me says, class. Photos saved. Witness, Kayla. I made a folder on my laptop and named it simply, Timeline. I dropped the photos in. I scanned Kayla's 3 items and added them too. I didn't label anything as revenge. I labeled everything as facts. At 9:16 p.m., the front door opened. Jenna walked in with a black gym bag and a bright smile. Her hair was damp, as if from a shower. How was coffee? She asked, breezy. Fine, I said. We talked about hiking and movies I haven't seen. Nice, she said. Class ran late. New instructor. Brutal core. She set her bag by the couch and stretched her arms overhead like a cat. When she stepped close to kiss my cheek, I smelled hotel soap, the cheap kind with a lemon note. It hit my throat like a bruise. Want tea? I asked. Please, she said, dropping onto the couch and pulling a blanket over her legs. My hip is killing me. I made her tea. I made mine. We watched a sitcom. She laughed at a joke and leaned on my shoulder like we did last week, last month, last year. The room looked the same, but something inside it had changed shape forever. My phone buzzed. A new message from an unknown number. If you want the truth, check her email tomorrow at noon. Sent folder. Don't reply to this. I looked at Kayla's name on my screen, then back at the unknown number. Whoever sent it knew something, or wanted me to think they did. Everything okay? Jenna asked, eyes on the TV. Work, I said. They want a status update. I typed to Kayla. I have a new tip. Tomorrow, noon. Sent folder. She replied, I'll be ready. I took a breath, held it, and let it go. The open door she'd asked for had become a tunnel. I was in it now, one careful step at a time. Light behind me shrinking, darkness ahead full of echoes. The tip said, check her email tomorrow at noon. Sent folder. Don't reply to this. I barely slept. At 11:58 a.m., I sat at my desk with a calm face and a loud heart. I had never gone into Jenna's email before. We had shared passwords in case of emergencies, and once she'd asked me to print a document from her account. That was my opening now. I told myself this was triage, not snooping. Truth is a kind of first aid. At 12 p.m. on the dot, I logged in. My fingers hesitated on the keys like I was about to ring a doorbell I couldn't unring. Then I hit enter. Inbox. Normal clutter. Promos, work threads, shipping updates. I clicked sent. At first it looked boring. Meeting notes, calendar invites. Then I scrolled. And there it was, hiding in plain sight. Emails to Evan S. Personal, and to a Gmail named E-Star. Subject lines. Gym tonight? Same place. Birthday plans. Rules. I clicked rules first. It was dated 2 weeks before our dinner. Jenna had written, I'm going to pitch the open idea tonight. If he agrees, we're fine. If he doesn't, we'll wait. I'll make sure friends/family are off limits so no one suspects us. Be patient. Don't text the main phone after 6. Use the black one. I felt the blood leave my face. My hands went cold. This wasn't a conversation. It was choreography. I clicked birthday plans, dated a year and a half ago. The body of the email was short and cruel. Hillcrest again? He thinks I'm planning a surprise dinner. I'll bring candles to make it a celebration. 212 if you can. Reply. Perfect. I'll get the room. The room number was the same. 212. A habit. An inside joke. My thumbs shook as I took screenshots. Timestamp, addresses, headers. I forwarded the emails to a private account I'd set up that morning. Then I moved slower, careful as a surgeon. I clicked, gym tonight? The most recent. Jenna wrote, he has coffee at 6, Pilates class for me at 7. Room? Reply, 212. Key under mat. Same plan. I sat back and stared at the wall. Part of me wanted to throw up. Part of me wanted to cry. Most of me wanted to go very, very quiet. I called Kayla on speaker. She answered on the first ring. You got it? I got it, I said. She emailed him 2 weeks before pitching me. She wrote the rules to protect their secret. She's been seeing him for at least a year and a half. Room 212. Yesterday too. Kayla swore softly. I'm so sorry. We're past sorry, I said. We're in decisions. Kayla exhaled. Then here's mine, she said. I'm done being her alibi. I'll say it on record. Affidavit, statement, whatever a lawyer needs. And Mark, there's something I haven't told you because it felt like a betrayal. But hiding it is worse. I closed my eyes. Tell me. She took a breath. I saw them once. Not meaning to. I was leaving a cafe and saw Jenna across the street with a man. Not Evan, someone older, gray at the temples. This was 2 years ago. She saw me and ducked into a store. Later she told me he was her manager and I misread it. I believed her. I didn't want to blow up your life. But it's been years, Mark. Plural years. The word rang in my head like a bell. Okay, I said. Then we build a timeline. All of it. Before open and after. Names, dates, places. We make it clean. Kayla was quiet, then said, I'll help. I called a lawyer that afternoon. I didn't tell Jenna I had an appointment. I didn't tell her anything. The office was on the 10th floor, glass walls and framed degrees. The lawyer, Miss Alvarez, had calm eyes and a direct voice. Tell me the facts, she said. I told her everything. The black phone, the emails, the receipts, the rules, the violations, the hotel, the likely name, Evan, a possible earlier affair with a manager. I told her about Kayla's statement. I did not add spice. I didn't need to. The facts were loud enough. Miss Alvarez listened without interrupting. When I finished, she said, You did the right things. Quiet, documented, no confrontation. We can work with this. What now? I asked. First we secure your finances, she said. Open a separate account. Move your direct deposit. Do not drain joint accounts. Judges dislike that. Freeze joint lines of credit temporarily. Change passwords to personal accounts. Document your property. Photograph everything valuable. If she tries to retaliate later, truth will be our friend. I nodded and wrote quickly. She continued. Second, keep gathering. Don't hack. Don't break laws. But anything she leaves in plain sight, anything stored on shared devices, receipts on joint accounts, those are fair. Third, do not tip your hand. People destroy evidence when they sense a storm. What about Evan? I asked. If he's married, his spouse may be a witness, she said. We can decide later whether to notify her. For now, focus on your case. I left with a folder labeled with my name and a calm I didn't expect. Not peace, just a clear lane. I opened a separate bank account that afternoon. I moved my paycheck. I changed beneficiaries on my life insurance to my sister temporarily. I took photos of our house, room by room, every piece of art, every device, every watch, every ring. I saved the photos to a hard drive I kept at work. I was building a financial fortress, brick by careful brick, and no one could see it from the street. At dinner, Jenna was sweet, too sweet. She told funny stories about Pilates friends and asked about my coffee friend. I told her the woman liked hiking. That was true. I didn't tell her I had canceled. She didn't ask to see my calendar entry. I didn't ask to see hers. The silence between our rules was louder than any fight. After we ate, she said, Kayla texted me a weird thing today. Said she wanted to check in and see how I'm doing, like I'm fragile or something. She rolled her eyes and laughed. She's dramatic. I kept my face still. Maybe she cares, I said. About what? Jenna said, breezy. Everything's great. Later, when she showered, I stood by the junk drawer and stared at the black phone. It didn't buzz. It just lay there, knowing what it knew. I closed the drawer and went outside. The evening air was cool. Somewhere down the block, a kid was learning to ride a bike. A father's voice saying, "You got it. Keep going." At 11:03 p.m., my phone buzzed with a new number. It was a text and a photo. The text said, "You don't know me, but you should." The photo showed a hand with a wedding ring on a marble counter. Next to it, a sticky note. Evan's wife, call me. I stared at the ring. I stared at the note. The tunnel ahead wasn't dark anymore. It had branches. And I was not the only one walking in it. Kayla notices small things first. A wrong studio name. A ringed hand line that looks fresh. A joke that feels like a test. She has watched Mark be patient for years. She has watched Jenna make plans that do not match her stories. She has said nothing. She has wanted to keep the peace, but her silence is getting heavy now. They meet for brunch. Sunlight on white plates. Coffee steam. Jenna talks about a late yoga class and says the name of a studio that closed months ago. Kayla keeps her face steady. Mark arrives with extra napkins. He smiles at his wife and sits close. He is kind in a way that makes your chest ache. Jenna's phone lies face down. When she reaches for her water, the skin beneath her ring is a shade lighter. Cover for me Friday if he asks, Jenna says, laughing, but also not laughing. You know I'm bad at lying, Kayla says. I mix up details. The server sets down the wrong bill by accident. 2 entrees, 1 bottle of wine. The date from last Tuesday. Jenna said she was home early that night. Kayla slides the bill back without a word. Her eyes are calm. Her mind takes a picture. Later, a quiet porch and cicadas buzzing. Kayla drops off a book Mark lent her. They sit on the steps and talk about small things. Potholes. A new coffee place. A stray cat that keeps visiting the block. He thanks her for checking in on his late nights. Means more than you know, he says. You deserve honesty, she says. She wants to tell him everything. She doesn't. His phone buzzes. A message from Jenna. Running late, don't wait up. He locks his jaw. He doesn't complain. On the step near his shoe sits a tiny gold earring back, catching a line of porch light. He doesn't see it. Kayla sees it. She nudges it into the shadow with her toe. The sound it makes is so small it could be a leaf. A night parking lot by the gym. Orange lights hum. Kayla sits in her car for a minute and watches the sidewalk. A rideshare stops 2 blocks from the gym door. Jenna steps out. Her hair looks messy in a way that has nothing to do with sweat. A shape shifts in the back seat. The car pulls away fast. Spin class killed me, Jenna says when she spots Kayla. She lifts a photo on her phone. A bike, cropped edges, no time. Kayla smiles. You left your water bottle in my car, she says. She says it like a fact. It is a small test. Jenna freezes for half a second and then laughs too loud. Right. Thanks, she says. Kayla nods and walks to the gym. The hum of the lights follows her to the door. Game night at Mark's. A stack of board games. 2 wine glasses. Jenna's seat empty. They play something simple and laugh at tiny victories. The laughter sits in the air and then thins. Mark talks about his basil plant. It grows tall and weak. Cut it back hard, Kayla says. It will get stronger. Basil or life, he asks. Their eyes meet for 1 beat too long. The front door opens. New perfume enters before Jenna does. She talks fast about traffic and a dead phone. Kayla collects her coat. On the entry table, half under a pile of mail, a hotel key card gleams gold with a raised logo. Kayla does not touch it. She leaves with a polite smile and a steady step. Her heart beats in her ears on the walk to her car. At home, a hot shower fogs her bathroom mirror. She wipes a circle clear and looks at herself. Not yours, she whispers. Not yet. Maybe never. Tell the truth. On her phone, a note is already open. The title is Lines. She reads what she once wrote and adds more. Don't enable. Don't confess feelings. Don't betray first. Tell the truth when asked. Collect facts, not rumors. Protect the innocent, even from what they don't want to know. She scrolls up and sees the first line is dated a year ago. She had forgotten that date. Back then, Jenna asked her to cover once. It was before the open talk. Her stomach goes cold. At work the next day, someone in the break room talks about a podcast episode on open relationships. Rules only work when both people want them to, Kayla says. Her phone buzzes. It is a photo from Mark. His basil is shorter, greener. Took your advice, he wrote. She sends a single thumbs up. Then she turns her phone face down and looks at the office calendar. A charity gala sits on next Friday's square. Jenna told Mark she was doing a girls' night that same date. Kayla draws a tiny dot on the paper with a pen. It is nothing to anyone but her. Saturday morning at the farmer's market. Sunlight on tomatoes. A violinist plays a sad tune. Mark stands with a neat list in block letters and a worried look he tries to hide. He asks how to pick the best tomatoes. Kayla shows him how to check for soft spots and how the smell tells you more than the color. He starts a sentence. Do you think she... He stops. Do these freeze well? He asks instead. Blanch first, she says. The words are plain. The meaning is not. A woman laughs nearby in a rhythm that sounds like Jenna's laugh. Mark flinches almost invisibly. Kayla tells a quick recipe story so the moment passes without leaving a mark on his face. A dinner with friends under patio lights. The table is loud. Plates pass. Jenna is brighter than the string bulbs. She keeps checking her phone. A contact flashes on her screen saved under a single emoji. No name. Kayla sees it. A friend across the table sees it too. Their eyes meet for half a second. No one says a thing. Jenna tosses a little jab at Mark. That's the end of part 1, but our hero's story is just beginning. There are still challenges to overcome, mysteries to unravel, and bonds to be forged. If you enjoyed this chapter, please hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Terran Tales HFY. Turn on notifications so you'll never miss what happens next. Thanks for watching, and get ready for even more adventure in part 2.